Okay, your very first task is to create an app design. Now I'll run through what some of those possibilities are in a second. I just wanted to show you that you will be asked to create a flow diagram. So a flow chart looks like this. So I went through one earlier with the design process. This is a more complex one. So it's looking at this heading here, and it's showing if I start here, these could be my 4 sub branches, which would then, depending on response, come along to these ones, which then, depending on response, would come to here. And I could either then go down this branch and across to here, or follow this path here. Or alternatively, if none of these responses are any good, I might come down to here. It's going to ask me another question, which will then lead me to come back up here and run through the 4 boxes again. So I'm happy when you make your flow chart for you to do it on Pages, or you might decide to do it on Google Docs, or you might decide to do it manually, or you may even have a third-party app installed on your iPad for doing flowcharts already. So I'm happy any way that you want to construct this, but this is part of your assessment, which I'll show you in a second when we get to the task. Okay, so this has been done so that you actually choose something that's relevant to your lifestyle, or something that's a hobby, something that appeals to you. So we're going to ask you to make an app, and you're going to create the design around, and these are just some suggestions. So it could be health, it could be like a nutrition app, fitness, it might be something to do with exercise and yoga, or sport, shopping, it could be an online store, or a makeup store, or a jewelry store. It might be a choose your own adventure story. It might be some type of informative app, giving information about animals and countries, or places to go and visit for tourists, things like that. Or it could be a tutorial on how to do a certain thing. But the key things that you'll notice are that your app needs to have, as a minimum, obviously a home page, 2 pages from the home page, and then 2 sub pages for each page. Now, most students go on to make multiple pages and have multiple links. So they might start here with netball, they might have female uniform, male uniform, they might have here shoes and clothes, shoes and clothes. They might have then options of 2 different types of sneakers. And let's say one here is to have Nikes versus Pumas. And then there might be some links to a web page where I can actually purchase that particular option. From these sub pages, there might be an option to go back a page, so I can actually come back to page 2. And from page 2, there might be an option to go back to the home page, or there might be an option here to go straight back to the home page. So there's lots of things to incorporate in your flow diagram. And for this lesson, very first lesson, and probably a little bit of the next lesson, this is all that we're asking you to do, is to think of an idea that suits you, one of these things, perhaps do a little bit of research into one of those areas to see what type of thing you might do, then come up with a flow diagram that shows what would be on your home page, what would be the 2 options on this home page, then from there what would be the sub options, what are each of these pages taking you to, and then where might we go from there. And that could include web links and things like that. It could include drawings, it could include a range of information. Down here as we scroll, you'll notice that this is the marking diagram, so that you've got the rubric so you know what to expect. So as mentioned, flowchart is one of the criteria. So excellent planning and management of digital projects to create interactive information. So that's an A, as opposed to a C, which is just satisfactory planning. So flow of pages, does it make sense? So if I click on one option that you've got, is it clearly marked so I know where my next page is and where I'm going? Can I get back to the home page? Can I go up a page? Is it user friendly, and is it like you would expect an app to work? Is the information appropriate and useful information? So it needs to have content in there that you've researched that will actually benefit me in using your app. You'll then be asked to do an evaluation of both the app and the task, but that'll come a little bit later. Okay, hopefully that's enough to get you started. All of this document here is on the Google Classroom for you to refer to, and I'll put a copy of this little video up there as well.